Today we're going to be talking about the present tense in Spanish, and we're going to be talking in particular about the first and third person singular. So by the end of this lesson, I hope that you understand the difference between those two things. I want you to understand and identify verb endings for AR and irregular verbs. And finally, I would like you to use both infinitives and present tense accurately. And we're going to be doing a listening for you to practice those two things. So I want you to go away now and do activities 1, 2, and 3 on the sheet. And when you've done activity 3, come back and we're going to go over what that all means. Okay? So I'm going to pause now for you to go and do that, and then come back when you've finished activity 3. All right, activity 3. Okay, so down the left-hand side, you can see that there are some infinitives, and we talked about those last week. And we said that an infinitive is the word that means to do something. And these words in Spanish you take from the dictionary. However, in Spanish, you sometimes need to change these verbs so that they mean I do something, or you do something, or he or she does something. Okay? So, you can see down the side the infinitives. A lot of the infinitives end in AR. And the ones at the bottom end in a mixture of either ER, AR, IR, and again IR. So, we're going to concentrate just on the top AR verbs, and then the bottom are what we call irregular verbs. They don't always follow the same patterns. And there are a few of those in Spanish. So, navegar, hablar, bailar, escuchar. Let's concentrate on those at the minute. So if you're wanting to say, I surf the internet, we would say, navego por internet. Okay? In Spanish, they have the word for I, but they don't really use it because the fact that the word has an O on the end tells everybody who is speaking or who the verb is talking about. So, I surf the internet. Navego por internet. Similarly, to speak on the phone, or I speak on the phone. Hablo por teléfono. I dance. Bailo. I listen to music. Escucho música. Okay? So those O's on the end tell you that it's I who is speaking. However, if you want to say he or she, similarly, they have a word for he or she, but they don't use it very often. They know because the letter at the end of the verb tells them who the verb is talking about. So, navega por internet. She surfs the internet. Habla por teléfono. She speaks on the phone. Baila. He or she dances. Escucha música. He or she listens to music. Okay? And then the bottom, they kind of follow a similar rule in the first person. So you can see that all of the verbs end in O, apart from this one, boy. Boy is what we call a completely irregular verb. You just need to learn it. And then again, underneath we've got an O. However, on the right-hand side, some of the words end in E, some end in A and E. So we will go into this in more detail later, but the verb ver and salir, because they are ending IR and ER, they have to have an E on the end when you're talking about he or she. Just like they have A's, these two have E's. I told you that this one is completely irregular. You just need to learn it. And then finally, jugar has an A on the end because it's an AR verb. So just to recap. If you want the verb to refer to I, so the I form of the verb, 95% of the time it'll have an O on the end. If you're wanting the verb to refer to he or she, it would have either an A on the end or an E on the end. Okay? If it's an AR verb, it has an A on the end. If it's an ER or IR verb, it has an E. And then some verbs are just completely irregular and you just need to learn them. All right? So what I want you to do now is go away and do activities 4, 5, and then come back for activity 6. Okay? I'm going to pause now so you do those and then come back. Bueno, activity 6. So we're going to do this listening. I want you to put the correct form of the verb in. You need to listen carefully to my pronunciation. It's very important. So, I'll do each one twice. Número 1. Durante mi tiempo libre, me gusta navegar por internet y jugar a los videojuegos. De vez en cuando, salgo con amigos, pero no voy de compras porque es aburrido. Okay, I'll do that one again. Durante mi tiempo libre, me gusta navegar por internet y jugar a los videojuegos. De vez en cuando, salgo con amigos, pero no voy de compras porque es aburrido. Okay, number 2. El fin de semana, mi hermana habla en el teléfono con sus amigos y va de compras en el centro de Londres. De vez en cuando escucha la música y baila. 2 again. El fin de semana, mi hermana habla en el teléfono con sus amigos y va de compras en el centro de Londres. De vez en cuando escucha la música y baila. Número 3. Right, number 3 now. Generalmente veo la tele con mi hermano, pero no navego por internet porque es bastante aburrido. Mi hermana sale con sus amigos, pero no le gusta escuchar música porque no es interesante. Okay, number 3, last one. Generalmente veo la tele con mi hermano, pero no navego por internet porque es bastante aburrido. Mi hermana sale con sus amigos, pero no le gusta escuchar música porque no es interesante. Okay, guys, once you filled those in, go away and do activity 7 and then come back here and we'll do the plenary. Okay? Okay, here's your plenary. Right, I just want you to have a go at answering these questions just to reflect on how much you've learned this lesson. So, number 1, when would you use the first person form of the verb? What's it referring to? And number 2, when would you use the third person form of the verb? And finally, which letter do you use when you're talking about the first person verb in the present tense? So what do first person verbs in the present tense end in? Which letter? Alright everybody, buena suerte. I'm looking forward to hearing from you and seeing your work. Adios!